188. Oh, we're live while I'm sitting here mumbling. All right, welcome everybody to Hump Day Hangouts. This is the episode where I forget where I'm at, but actually it's episode 188. I'm glad everybody's here. Let's go down the run through real quick and say hi to everybody. So, Chris, how you doing today?
Doing good. Glad to be here.
Good deal. Hernan, how you doing?
I'm doing really well, actually. I'm super excited for what's coming. Looking forward for the announcements for today, but it's gonna be super fun. So
yes. All right, Marco, how about yourself? How you doing, man?
Today's secret words are YouTube views and Google My Business auto poster.
It's almost like it's a clue to something. We'll circle back around to that. Bradley, how you doing, man?
What's up, man? I'm happy to be here. We got only a handful of questions on today, so I guess we'll spend extra time answering them, unless you guys want to post more questions. So
good deal. I was about to say, yeah, it's like we can have one where we get to dive in more. The last few have been right up to the limit. So we're going to do some quick announcements, everybody. But first off, if you're new to Semantic Mastery, first of all, thanks for watching. If you're watching this live, that's awesome. If you're catching the replay, that's cool too. If you're not sure where to go or what the next step is, we generally advise people to go to battleplan.semanticmastery.com. It's a great place to get started. And then just keep coming to these Hump Day Hangouts. Show up, ask questions. If you can't attend them live, you can always ask questions early. Come check out the replay, put it to use. And that's what we've gotten a lot of really good feedback over the past several years that we've been doing this. People just consistently coming and asking questions. And, you know, it's SEO, digital marketing, anything to do with your business, it's fair game. And if we don't have the answer for you, we'll certainly point you in the right direction. So what Hernan was hinting at, I think we'll start there. We wanted to let you guys know that Semantic Mastery is going to be having a small gathering. We're going to be having our first live event in October of this year in the Washington, D.C. area. So that's the factual stuff. We're going to have more details to come, but one, it's going to be awesome. And then two, we want to let people who listen and subscribe to us to have the first chance to know about this. Like I said, we're going to have a lot more details coming out with some of the secret guest speakers, what we're going to be covering ourselves and what people can expect to get out of it. But I don't know. That's my spiel for it. I'm excited. I think it's going to be pretty awesome.
yeah, I think so too. And I'm really looking forward to it because, you know, the experiences that we have had at live events have been amazing, you know, meeting, getting to know new people and getting to know a lot of mastermind members that we have come together in live events. And we have been, you know, thinking on doing this for quite a while. And now, you know, we have decided to go ahead and do it. So I think that we're going to have some more information for you guys, you know, soon in terms of the actual speakers that as Adam was saying. We're still defining the venue and a bunch of other things. But initially, if you want to get a really, really super specific, super special early bird discount, go ahead and contact support at semanticmastery.com. Just, you know, put the subject, put live event. The live event has a name already. I don't know if I can disclose it.
Yeah, can we say it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So, Bradley, you want to say it?
It's I'll let Marco do it. It's him. Let him do it. It's his favorite.
It's POFU, man. What else could it be?
POFU Live.
Yeah. So the event name is POFU Live 2018. So if you want to attend, just write to support at semanticmastery.com with the subject POFU Live 2018. We give you something really, really special. So there's going to be a lot of more information coming up.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be October. The main days are October 20, 21st. But the reason we're bringing this up now, one, we want to let everyone know about it. We know it takes some planning to attend these events, but we mean it. You know, if you take advantage of this, like this week that we're announcing it, we're going to give you a special, very, very truly special, never seen again discount if you're willing to grab it and go. So looking forward to that. And it's going to be a small group. So we're capping this.
Did we mention that it's only going to be 25 slots?
No, yeah. So we're capping it at 25. You know, I think live event in my mind, I may be the only one, so maybe this is my bias, but I think, you know, lots of like laser shows and like big stuff and huge crowds. It's more almost like a mastermind type of get together. It's 25 people. It's enough people there. You're going to have a lot of viewpoints. You're going to have 7 or 8 speakers. And it's enough, though, you can break down into small groups and you can still stay in touch with everyone, do a lot of networking and get a lot of good idea generation going.
Yeah, and it's not going to be super expensive either, guys, because this is our first live event. So we're going to keep it smaller. It'll be a ton of content, and also the networking is really where the true value comes from, anyways. But we're going to keep it small and affordable because we kind of want to test this for ourselves for the first time as well. And but we're going to have some VIP stuff for potentially a VIP upgrade, which will be really cool. I went to an event last year, the SEO Rockstars event, that was really good, and went to I guess they host like a VIP event the day before the actual like training and normal meetup days. And it was fabulous. And it was really good just to network with those other people that also upgraded to the VIP tickets and talk and just develop those business relationships. And that's really where the true value comes from these type of events. So we hope that some of you will come join us.
Definitely. Good deal. A couple other quick announcements on the tails of that. That's the big one. Check it out. If you're interested, please send us a support ticket. We're pumped to have people. We've met a few people at small gatherings we've done, the last one in Portland, and it's just amazing to meet people, to be able to help out, and then just that idea kind of generation that, you just don't get unless you're in person. But anyways, July 4th, we're going to have some cool specials. We're working on an awesome bundle for people. We'll be coming out with that. It's going to put together some of our best training, some of our I can't even say enough anyways, stay tuned. It's going to be really good. And then we're working on the done for you services. We got some additional done for you services coming out around. Have we already said what it's based around? I don't want to give away too much here.
The GMB Pro training.
Yeah, we got some stuff coming out with that. We're working on that, you guys, and as soon as we have a date, we'll be sharing that information. If you haven't yet, check out Local GMB Pro. This is already kind of changing how a lot of people are offering some services to their clients, and I don't know, Bradley, I'll let you. I see you nodding your head. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Well, we just had a post in the Facebook group. I don't know if it was this morning or maybe last night, but somebody was like, I just started applying this method to one of my, I don't know if it's a lead gen or a client guy or it's a client of theirs or what, but he was like, he called me and said, son, you're going to have to slow these calls down. And that's a really good problem to have, man. When you get called by your clients that you serve and they're saying, hey, you're going to have to slow this shit down. I can't handle the calls. That's a good problem to have, So
definitely.
That, like, it's actually like one of the most common complaints that is quite recurring, like on Local GMB Pro members.
Yeah,
too many calls.
So.
Which we're not making this up, you guys. Seriously, this sounds like one of those like, my client just pissed off. Too many calls. Like, legitimately, people are like, yeah, we need to figure out, like, can you help me with, like, we need to hire someone to deal with calls. Like, it's crazy. We've actually had people saying that. So
that's crazy.
No BS.
I'm glad that there's actually people backing up what I've been saying about the attorney that I've been doing in New York, where she has had to hire 2 people to take the phone calls and a third one part-time. I mean, that's the volume of calls that she's getting. She actually told me, look, we need to find a way to cut this down. And I said, no, hire more people. You don't slow the calls down. You hire more people and make more money.
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome. Which I don't know. This is good. This wasn't a question, but man, if that's a service you can offer on top of this. So the people who are doing this and using the Local GMB Pro methods, if you've got the processes in place or not, and you should, to help somebody grow their business like that, hey, I can show you how to deal with these calls. I can provide the done for you service to deal with these calls. I can do a script. There's so many additional things you can do, and it's not just upselling, it's providing a lot of value to your clients. And they may actually be worried, like, God, what do I do? Like Marco was saying, how do I lower calls? Like, no, don't do that. Like, here's how you deal with all these calls and turn it into more revenue for your business.
Right.
So lots of opportunity.
You act as a business consultant then, not just a marketing person.
Yeah. And then talk about a trusted advisor role. I mean, that's golden in so many ways. And not just it's not all about the money. It's easier to work with clients. Anyways, win-win. So, all right. Before we jump into it, any more announcements from anybody, or are we ready to get rolling?
No, just a couple. We can get real YouTube views to your videos. That will be rolling out like very shortly. As soon as we have ordering ready, the ordering platform and the different tiers, the different number of views that they can order, we have that ready. And the GMB Pro, the auto posting service, that's ready to go. But that's going to be rolled. It's likely that both services will be rolled out to our mastermind members and the Local GMB Pro members first. and we'll offer them, special pricing just because we always take care of our membership. We always say membership has its privileges, and we like to show our members love by just giving them the special ways to order to lower their costs so that they can pass it on to their clients. Or again, as I always say, just make more money. Just figure out ways that you can make more money with all of the ways that we find to give you things at a lower cost. So those two are coming. Guys, be on the lookout. If you're already in Local GMB Pro or in our mastermind, then you will be contacted first. And if you're not in those groups, I'm still wondering why the fuck you're not in. I'll leave it at that.
All right.
Well said.
It's good. Sorry, guys. I was peeking at my email while I was waiting. Are we good on? Can we go ahead and get into questions?
Yeah, let's do this.
Yep.
So, and yeah, guys, it's funny because I just started testing our new YouTube views platform like today. Actually, I haven't had time because I've been dealing with developing content, and so I'm actually anxious to see how good it's doing. We've got a lot of the beta testers that are coming back with just crazy results for the YouTube stuff too, which is great because it just makes it so much easier. I mean, I've been using YouTube ads to drive traffic for local videos, to help local videos rank for, well, probably over a year now. But this makes it easier because it's just a real quick, easy interface to go in and set up the campaign. And it just makes it super simple. And it's a lot less time than it takes to set up a YouTube ad. So I'm anxious to see how well this works. And again, we've got a lot of people that have already been talking about how good it's been working for them. So I'm super excited to see how well that works. First question up, David Kennedy. He says, I received an email for Facebook group for webinar on Local GMB Pro, but when I click either link to join for the webinar, the error I get says content not available. Okay, David, first of all, for these types of stuff, just use support, please. That's what support is for. Support@semanticmastery.com. Again, support@semanticmastery.com. Just submit a support ticket. We'll make sure we get you sorted. Next, the webinar is not going to be, the link for the webinar is not available yet. We don't give that out until like right before the webinar, and there's a reason for that. But again, just contact support. We'll get you set up, okay? Mike is next. He says, how do you actually use driving directions map for SEO? Well, there are ways to, it's just to add local relevancy, right? I mean, think about it. If typically for a point of sale business, which is a storefront business, a business where customers come to the business location, then it would make sense if you were trying to rank in the local maps pack, the 3-pack for like very close in proximity areas or locations. So like adjacent towns, for example. Then, so let's say you're the only, like you have a business that's the only business in 3 or 4 towns and surrounding towns. Even if it's not the only business, if you want to try to get your listing, your maps listing to rank when somebody's searching for like an adjacent town. So whatever your keyword, service keyword is, plus the location modifier, and it's an adjacent town. Well, one of the ways that you can try to get ranked in there is to have, add that local relevancy from that area to the location where you're physically located. So in that case, a driving directions map would be good to like create posts or pages on the site or just content that talks about the area that you want to rank in with a driving direction map from there to your store location, right? Because again, it's just about, it's Google code. Google's going to come read the page and it's going to see a driving directions map. It's going to see content on the page about that particular location, right? The location that you'd like to rank in. And then it's going to see a driving directions map from that location to your business address, right? And so there's a reason, it's just a way to feed additional relevancy into Google, is to like location relevancy, excuse me. Now, the opposite would be for service area businesses, right? So for service area businesses, you go from the business, like the business goes to the customer location. And that's typically how most of my projects are set up, because I deal with contractors primarily. And so on those, even if you have the physical location hidden, you would still just go grab the city center and do driving directions from the city center where the business is physically located. And the driving directions would be from that location to the customer locations, which would be just city centers of the locations that you'd like to rank in. That's pretty much the easy high-level overview of how you can use it. Now, there's a lot more that can be done than just that, but we can't certainly get into all of that and here on Hump Day Hangouts. But that's a good question. And again, if driving directions are really just a great way to add additional location relevancy to pages and or posts. Okay.
It's something that we get into, and I did a webinar, a separate webinar, just to show people how to take advantage of driving directions, and that's in RYS Reloaded. It's one of the webinars where we cover this on how to use it for SEO.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Sam Bailey's up. He says, in a video you once said that simple silo structure would be sufficient for most sites. What determines whether you opt for simple silo structure versus complex? Thanks as always. Well, hey, Sam, how you doing, by the way? We met Sam in Portland. He said, as far as simple silo structure, I always recommend using that if possible, because complex silo structure, I mean, it's just as the name implies, it can be very complex. If you're using just a virtual silo method as opposed to a physical silo method, which means you're leaving your permalink structure to just post name inside of WordPress instead of category / post name, then you can get away with using complex silo structure without it being quite as difficult to reconcile like some funky URL things that happen with complex silos. However, again, for most local sites that I deal with, because if you guys are aware, I typically do very hyper local sites like on subdomains, to where that site, the whole site is optimized for pretty much one city, right? One area. And then if I want to expand into another area, or if the contractor covers another area, then we build another location-based site for that additional area, or each additional area, if that makes sense. So we don't have to really worry about having a complex silo structure. A complex silo structure would be the type of site that I would build if I was building a site that covers a large geographic area, or if it covered and guys, I'm speaking in local business terms, right? A complex silo would be, I would apply a complex silo to a website if it covered a large service area, or if it had a lot of different products and or services, right? Or a combination of both. Okay. So, but for most sites, because like I said, I try to keep them hyper local, focused on just one particular area, there's no need for that. And so I recommend doing a simple silo structure just because it's easier to build. There's less stuff. There's less internal linking that needs to be done. There's, you know, and you can still, again, for a lot of local sites, you don't need that kind of stuff. You don't need a site to be that complicated. Okay. Now, again, there's times where that's going to be necessary. And some clients don't want a bunch of separate maps listings and subdomain sites and things like that. Or maybe the site's already been built out and they've got different locations, but they're based on pages and things like that. Well, those are times that maybe a complex silo would be better. Again, I just recommend, if you can get away with just using simple silo, do that, because it's easier to set up, it's easier to maintain, it's easier to understand. Complex silo structure, though, if it's necessary, then you absolutely can use that. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying it, you know, just keep in mind that it does require a bit more planning to properly design the site. Okay. And like stacking keywords and creating your silos with the hierarchies. Remember, with the complex silo structure, you've got top level categories and in subcategories and in posts. So you're going 3 levels deep within a silo. And a top level silo, and in subcategories, you can add as many subcategories as you want. So that's what you call width to a silo, right? Depth would be adding additional content in any particular subcategory. So continuing to add relevant content in any one category or subcategory, that's what you would call like adding depth to the site. Adding width would be adding additional silos or additional subcategories in one silo. So anyways, again, that's why I said it can, as you can tell, even the explanation can become complicated. So go back through, Sam, and look at the 2 videos that I did several years ago. I recorded several videos about simple silo structure and complex silo structure. You can find them on our YouTube channel, and then just determine what you think is going to be best for your specific situation based upon what you learned from those videos. Okay. Next, Peter from Poland. He says, what is the best way to have the correct NAP citation on a local WordPress website and all other sites if I have a GMB listing? Well, if you have the GMB listing, he says, do I just copy and paste the text directly from the GMB listing exactly and paste it in my own WordPress site? Okay, well, Peter from Poland, if you're doing stuff in the US, then I recommend going to the USPS.com, which is the United States Postal Service.com, and go over here to look up a zip code. and then you go find by address or cities. Yeah, I think it's find by address. And then you put in the actual address of the GMB listing. Just copy it, you know, street address, paste it in, city, state, zip code, postal code. Just paste it in and then click find. And what happens is it's going to show you the standardized formatting, the correct formatting based upon the USPS standardization, address standardization, right? That should be the way that you should have it listed in Google My Business. At least that's the way I do it, guys. I'm sure there's going to be some other people out there that say they do it differently, but that's how I've always done it. I learned this trick many years ago, I think from Ivan Budimir, and I've been doing it this way ever since, okay? And a lot of times, even if I take over a client, like if I've got a client that had an existing GMB, but they had it displayed incorrectly, or they didn't have the correct standardized addressed format, I'll go in and update it in Google My Business. And then I'll even do I'll do a citation cleanup campaign to go have all the existing citations on the web updated to the correct standardized format. And it's only because that's the way that the addresses are supposed to be listed. So I would recommend first making sure you have the standardized address format. Then I would go in and update the GMB. If it's not correct, I would update it in GMB. And then I would your Google My Business profile, and then I would go and start using that exact same format for all of your citations. If you have existing citations that are incorrect, I would recommend that you update those before building new citations. That's always the better thing to do. Instead of diluting bad data, fix the bad data, right? And then as far as your website, really the only thing you need to do on your website, if it's a service area business and I just talked about this, where the business goes to the customers, there's really no reason for you to display the address on your website. You can still post it using structured data, right? So that would be going the HTML header of the site if you're using JSON-LD, structured data markup. And we've got a structured data generator in SERP space if you want to use that to generate the code that goes in the HTML header. If you do have a point of sale business or a storefront, then you could take, you could still add the JSON-LD, local business markup, which I highly recommend that you do regardless of what type of business you have. But then you could also just use like a little footer widget or sidebar widget with it lists your name, address, and phone number as well. Right there, that can just be flat out plain text. It doesn't have to be formatted any particular way, because all the correct, the location relevancy is in the JSON-LD and the header of the site. Google's going to come read that via the code, and it will be fine. It doesn't need to be displayed on your site unless, like I said, you have a storefront and you want your customers to be able to see it, in which case you just put it in the sidebar, the widget, or on the contact page or whatever. And also, I would recommend that you would then also take your map, your GMB map, and get the embed code for that and embed that into your sidebar or footer of your website as well. So you have your actual GMB map embedded on your site too. Okay. Good question though. Any tips by not having the correct NAP or no NAP on a website can have an effect? Yeah, if it's incorrect. Incorrect data will kill maps ranking, guys. Inconsistent data, right? Actually, if it's incorrect, but it's consistently incorrect everywhere, you'll rank better than just having correct but inconsistent data. Does that make sense? Let me repeat that. If you have incorrect data, but it's consistently incorrect everywhere it's published on the web, you'll rank better in maps than if you have correct data, but it's inconsistent on the web. So figure that one out, but it's true. So again, data consistency is absolutely paramount to ranking in maps. Okay. Is there a plugin that help? I wouldn't recommend any. I just add the JSON-LD code manually to your header. You can do that via WordPress. You can use plugins to inject it in your site header. You can edit the theme file and add it there. You can also use Google Tag Manager, which is my preferred method. And there's training for Google Tag Manager. If you go to measureschool.com, Julian has some free Google Tag Manager training on his site there. It's really, really good. It's the same training I went through to learn how to use Google Tag Manager. That's measureschool.com. Any comments on that, guys?
Nope. That was perfect.
All right. Ivan Lett, What's up, buddy? He says, hey guys, question about photos. I optimized an image with title tag, description, geotag on my computer and saved it, then added it to my GMB photo album. When I looked at the details of the picture of my GMB dashboard, I don't see the optimization that I put in my image. All I see is the size of the image. So I go to search Google for my map listing, go to photos and click that optimized image. There is no details. My question is, why is it important to take the time to optimize images if I can't see the results? Thanks. It's a good question, Ivan. For a long, now, I know, like, for the longest time, I've always been told that when you optimize the images and add metadata and you upload them, Google reads that data. They may strip it out before it's published in their index, but they read that data as it was being uploaded, right? And so that's why it makes a difference. And I've tested this in the past, both with images, but more so with MP4, with video files when uploading to YouTube. I take this, and I've literally set up tests for this, and where I take, because you can, by the way, you can optimize an MP4 video, guys, the metadata, just like you can an image. You can add geodata and comments and copyright URLs and things like that. So you can NAP data and all that stuff. You can add metadata to an MP4, right? And so I've taken the same video, basically the same file, and optimized for the same term, and used two different channels that were both brand new, and had one, and I've done this on more than one occasion. It's been a few years since I've tested this, but when I did test it, it absolutely made a difference. You optimize one of the MP4 files with the metadata, or optimize the metadata, and in the other, I just left blank, no optimization, uploaded those two, and guess which one outranked every time? It was always the one that had the optimized metadata. So again, it's been years since I've conducted that specific test. Probably 4 years now at least, but I've always assumed that that's still the case. Now, Marco, you could probably shed some light into this, right?
Yeah, it's one of the things that we'll be covering on Monday's webinar, and Ivan is in Local GMB Pro.
Perfect.
I just let him in the group today, I think it was. And so anything regarding this, images, how to manipulate them, why, we'll cover that on the webinar very thoroughly. So see you on Monday, Ivan. We'll answer you then.
That's awesome. So, but there is, and I mean, it's a great question, Ivan. But there is a reason for optimizing the images, guys, with the metadata, because even if it's stripped out, like for example, with my MP4 example that I was just talking about, you upload it to YouTube, but then you don't see that metadata anywhere else, right? I mean, it's not like you can go view page source and then see the data that you added to the file before you uploaded it to YouTube. However, like I said, several years ago, when I did this test on multiple occasions, every time it outranked the video that wasn't optimized with the metadata, all things being equal, right? And it's difficult to get all things to be equal, but I tried to keep it as equal as possible other than the metadata, and every single time it outranked. Okay. And there's also like a lot of the other things, and I know that I'm talking about videos now, but like something else I haven't tested in years that used to work like crazy. And Hernan was telling me about a little hack he saw the other day with YouTube about being able to upload the transcriptions for the captions and such. What was the hack you were telling me about the other day?
Well, that you have those that you have those captions that are automatically generated by YouTube, right? That they are automatically, so that's why it's advisable to actually spell out your keyword a couple of times, because YouTube will automatically detect the speech, right? It will have speech recognition, so we will go and then create captions like subtitles out of that,
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing, and that's automatically created by YouTube. But here's the thing: every week we are transcribing the episodes from the Hangouts. Like every week, if you go through our website, you will see the transcriptions, and that's how we add. We also add timestamps to all of the videos, so they'll really optimize it. Now, here's the thing: if you upload a video and you're transcribing it, like using something like rep.com, for example, you can upload that chunk of text, that transcription, into YouTube in the caption section, and there's an option that says, I think it's paste and sync or something like that. So what it would do is that you paste those, I don't know, 10,000, 12,000, 9,000 words, and YouTube automatically will sync that text.
That's crazy.
To the audio that's happening. So at the end of the day, you're adding captions without having to add captions, but they're not the automatically generated captions on YouTube. Does that make sense? So they have more SEO value because they're generated by the user. But yeah, it's crazy. Like it will automatically sync all of that chunk of text that you're adding with paragraphs and everything. It will automatically sync to the audio that's on the video. So you have subtitles, you know, that's what I'm saying.
That's
so
awesome.
Google can read the keywords and whatnot. So that adds a lot of more weight. And we're doing that from on every video from now on, you know, every time they hang up.
Years ago, that was one of the things around the same time I was doing a lot of the metadata testing. That was something that I tested a lot too. Was at the time there was no ability to auto sync like that didn't exist, that technology at that time, but there was the ability to upload captions files, and so I would spam that. Like, in other words, I would just add keywords and like calls to action and stuff like that as caption files, and then upload it. And that absolutely helped rank the videos too. That was like one of those tricks up the sleeves that we would do. But yeah, the fact that, you know, if you transcribe a video anyways, or even, you know, like what we do, and then you can add that as an actual transcribed caption file and it auto syncs, that's got to be much more valuable than splitting the auto captions. So. Yeah,
the auto captions, like, and then if you think about it, the auto captions are not always correct,
right?
You know, so the transcription is like, I would say if the caption are like, they're really good, like they're good, like they will be 75% correct. The transcription would be 95% correct, because also the people on red.com or whatever service you're using, they will make mistakes even for the word with technical language and whatnot, but it will be like way better. It will be way better, like way more accurate. And then you can still add a lot of keywords, because again, we keep on saying that if you actually spell out and if you're actually saying the keyword on your video, it will increase the ranking power that video has for that specific keyword. So
very cool. Nigel's up. What's up, Nigel? He says, good day, gents. Can you review how to properly check to see if you are gaining proper traffic? I've heard numerous ways and ranking factors, excuse me. But can you talk through a quick and easy check so I don't waste time going down a rabbit hole? Thanks. Well, let's see. To check to see if you're gaining proper traffic, the only thing I would say there would be like, you know, analytics, check Google Insights, call volume. Those are like, I mean, and web form submits, if that's what you're doing, right? Like if it's, you know, contact forms and things like that, those would be like indications that you're properly gaining traffic, or gaining proper traffic, I should say. If you're getting traffic that's converting into leads and or sales, whatever your conversion goals are, then I would say that's how you know that you're gaining proper traffic. As far as how can you get better search results, there are a shit ton of ranking factors. So you got to pick your poison. We always try to focus on what's going to move the needle the most with the least amount of effort, right? I mean, because for example, there's like Quora. Quora is a great software by Ted Kubalis. I'm sorry if I'm screwing up his last name. Smart guy, dude's super sharp. And he built this software called Quora that does like it will scan all top 100 results in Google and like document everything about the websites into this one Excel spreadsheet that's got like 100 websites worth of data. Like great, like there's, I don't know, what is it, 350 data points or something that it, or is it more? It's probably like 500 data points now that he pulls back on the top 100 sites. It's crazy. It's this massive amount of data, but what it does is it gives you the ability, like the law of it uses correlations to determine how all those top 100 sites are, what all their ranking factors are. And again, it's something silly, like 500 data points. So think about if you had to go in and tune all that. But so because that could be overwhelming, he specifically programmed into the Quora reports, the things that have the biggest correlation, you know, the biggest, the most common correlating factors for that particular search phrase. So it basically highlights the things that are the most important, or that seem to have the most significant impact on ranking for that particular search term. So those would be the things that you would start with first, right? Because those have the greatest chance of moving the needle the most, if that makes sense. Okay. So again, it just really depends. And, you know, as a mastermind member, Nigel, and as many, you know, being a member of many of our products, that's what we try to teach, is the stuff that's going to move the needle the most with the least amount of effort. And so stick to what we're sharing with you and we're teaching you, and you should be fine. I mean, again, you can go down any rabbit hole you want. That's kind of what Marco and Rob do, is go down these rabbit holes and they get stuck down there for months at a time. But then they come out with stuff like Local GMB Pro and RYS Academy. So that can be you if you want it to be, or you can just apply what you're learning and keep focusing on the big stuff. You know, let us do the testing. You just go out and produce the results for your clients. You want to comment on that, Marco?
Yeah, the only thing that I would add to that is Search Console and clicks.
Yeah.
If you keep an eye on the clicks in Search Console, like right now or earlier today, I was looking at one where the guy has nearly 100 top 10s, and his click-through rate sucks. I mean, it's horrible. It's at it was at 1.3, and how can you have nearly 100 top 10s, multiple number ones with great impressions, and your clicks suck? I mean, 103 and no clicks. So how do you fix that? You have to work on your copies, right? On your titles and descriptions, right? The meta title, meta description, because that's the only way that you can fix that you can get people to click when it gets an impression. If you don't work on that, then those clicks or those impressions are useless to you, because you're not getting the clicks. If you increase the clicks, then automatically your traffic will increase. Then your own page takes over, because they have to be delivered to the proper page so that they convert. So that's what I would add to everything that you said.
Yep. So, and Nigel, as being part of the mastermind, we did a webinar with Ted sometime last year, I believe, about Quora. It might be something you want to check out if you're interested in that kind of stuff. Because again, like, what's cool about it is you can subscribe for a month and run all the reports for all the sites that you manage, and then cancel your subscription, because it is rather expensive, but Ted is totally cool. I mean, he even said it on the webinar. He's like, I get it. It's expensive. So subscribe for a month, run all your reports, cancel your subscription, do all your tuning based upon the reports. When you're ready to run reports again, subscribe again, run all your reports again. So he was real cool about that. I wouldn't say that unless he did, unless he did, you know? So anyways, you might want to check that out. If you have trouble locating it in the mastermind members area, just reach out in the Facebook group and one of us will locate it for you and ping you in the group with the replay. Can you discuss consistent way to post to platforms, to Twitter, so I get images, videos to embed properly, large size? I've done it, but it kind of happenstance. I have found that if I go from Google Plus to Twitter manually using naked URL, I get large image, but I retweet using shortened link, only get URL. Link and unshortened links get smaller version. I can't tell you a damn thing about Twitter. Can anybody on here tell him anything about Twitter?
No, not regarding that.
Yeah, not regarding that, unfortunately. I honestly don't know why he's getting that. He's shortening that, and he is like getting the small image, right? And then I think, I don't know, because Yoast used to have that option that will show either the big or the small image. I don't even think that's, relevant anymore. That's why they took it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm just not a Twitter user, and I really have no desire to use Twitter either. I know there's some real SEO value, guys, and possibly traffic and all that. I just never got into Twitter. Don't care. So anyway, sorry, Nigel. Last thing is also, what about GMB? Any method for us manual posters? Yeah, Nigel, stop manually posting. Our GMB poster is ready for mastermind members and local GMB Pro members. We're going to be giving you guys a special offer on that here. When's it available? Is it available now, Marco?
It's available right now. I think I dropped it into our Slack chat. So yes,
okay. Can you post that in the mastermind community too?
I will. I'm going to drop it both in the local GMB Pro and the mastermind.
Okay. So Nigel, yeah, stop posting manually. It's dirt cheap, man. Use the scheduling, the scheduled post, the GMB poster, so you can schedule posts. You can do them in bulk, all that stuff. It's going to make your life a lot easier. It's worth it. It's not expensive at all. It'll save you a shit ton of time. It's worth it. Your time's worth more than it'll cost you to pay for this, which will make you much more efficient, right? Your time is worth more than that. So, all right. Yeah, guys, stop doing $5 an hour work. You know, like think about it, guys. You should be doing $100 an hour work instead of $5 an hour work. Manually posting in GMB is $5 an hour work. How do I know that? Because I've got VAs that I pay to do it. $5 an hour, or excuse me, $5 per post. So I mean, it's actually for $5 per post, you can make a shit ton of money doing GMB posts. You can make a shit ton of money in an hour. And the reason I say that is because the VA that I trained how to do that, she's been blogging or curating for me for several years now. And when I hired her and trained, she was already hired, but when I trained her to do the GMB posts the way that I taught her how to do them, and I told her I was going to pay her $5 per post, she basically said, she's like, just keep them coming. Like, I don't want to do regular curated posts anymore. Why would she want to spend 30 minutes curating a post for $15 when she could do 10 Google My Business posts and make $50 in that same 30 minutes? You know what I mean? So think about that, guys. There's no reason why you should be doing this kind of stuff when you can pay somebody to do it.
Yeah. And also have in mind that if you could be actually closing a new client or talking with a client, and that will bring you $100, $200, $500 an hour. And if you're doing $5 an hour tasks, you're not saving $5. You're actually losing $495, right, for each hour that you're doing that. So it's not that you're saving money. You're not saving those $5 an hour. You're actually losing all of the opportunity costs that you're not taking action on. So have that in mind.
That's right. Opportunity costs. There you go. All right. Next, Romola says, I just started with a local Italian deli in a little town in the UK. What's your advice as to what my best move is, bearing in mind this is a very local business at the moment? I would say Local GMB Pro is probably your best bet at the moment right now. If you're just getting started and that's out of your price point or whatever, I would say, like, honestly, the best thing that we could suggest that you would do would be to start posting in the Google My Business dashboard regularly. That's going to help to start getting activity and getting some leads coming in for that business. And then at which point you can start developing or, adding like more traditional stuff that we would recommend, like working on ranking in maps, building citations, doing an RYS drive stack, right? Press releases, syndication network, setting up the WordPress site or whatever their money site is in a blog with a syndication network to help validate the entity. All the stuff that we teach. But in just starting out new right now, guys, I'm telling you, the best thing that you can possibly do for local businesses right now, especially as you're learning all the stuff that you need to learn as a digital marketing consultant, would be to just get active in the GMB dashboard for your client, right? Make sure there's activity in there. And that's going to start to generate some exposure for that business while you're learning or setting up all the other stuff that needs to be done, which I still recommend you do, guys. I'm not telling you just stop at GMB stuff. I'm saying start with that, because that's going to get you the quickest results while you are developing out the rest of the assets for the business. Okay. Would anybody have anything different to say about that?
No,
No,
totally.
not different.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Marco.
Okay. The only thing that I would add to that is that Local GMB Pro doesn't require any SEO knowledge.
That's right.
It was specifically formulated in a way and set up in a way that all you have to do is the step-by-step method. It doesn't matter if you know how to silo, or everything is shown how it's not, how it's done. This is what you need to do. Not, okay, so this is a silo, it's a simple silo, it's a complex silo. That doesn't matter. The images, you taught what to do with images, how to do the posts, what to do with the posts, what to do with posts and images, what to do with the business site. So it's a step-by-step. You don't need to, absolutely no SEO knowledge to start getting results.
That's right. And there is, don't get me wrong, or don't get it wrong, guys. I'm doing a lot of most of the training inside the course right now for the case study. Marco and Rob are going to be doing the webinars. And so, there is SEO training in there, but it's not an SEO course. So it's like limited. It's just basically like how we can use some SEO tactics to improve what we're doing inside of GMB, but it's not an SEO course, if that makes sense, because it doesn't need to be. Certainly we can apply some SEO methods, right, to get better results. And so that's some of the stuff that I started sharing inside of there already. And I've got Marco and Rob have been doing some tests, and I'm doing some testing on my own. And so we're just going to keep adding to the course. So I highly recommend you get in there, Romulo. All right. Illinois, do the video about ifttt and spam entry point still effective? And what's your nugget about ifttt syndication? Still effective nowadays? Consider it as duplicate content or not? No, it's not. That's a common question. It's actually come up again recently a lot. And I don't see it as being duplicate content because remember, if you're only using a branded syndication network for blog syndication, it's a branded syndication network. All you're doing is republishing your content on your branded social media and Web 2.0 platforms. That is perfectly normal and legit. People, every major blog out there, website, author, writer, contributor does the same thing, right? They publish an article and then they go share it across their social media channels, whether it's a brand or an author or a celebrity or an influencer. That's what they do. So why is what we teach or what we do with syndication networks for local businesses any different? How is that any different? It's not. It's absolutely what Google expects now, right? And so it's not a duplicate content issue. So Illinois, I'm not picking on you. That question comes up often. So please don't take that as me being short with you at all. Just think about it logically. Why would it be duplicate content? Now, if you start stacking multiple syndication networks, persona-based networks, non-branded stuff that you're syndicating the same content to over and over and over again, that's not a duplicate content issue, but it is an issue. It's a footprint issue. There's a difference, guys. Okay, right. Duplicate content only exists when it's duplicate content on the same domain. It doesn't exist on separate domains. Okay, there's footprint issues, yes, but not duplicate content issues. Sorry, Hernan, were you going to add to that?
Yeah, no, yeah, I totally agree with you, Bradley. And the reality is that you need to treat your tier 1 networks and your tier 1, like your branded network as part of your entity, as part of your brand, meaning that you want people to go ahead and convert on those networks if they can, or those profiles if they can take action. But then you can use those profiles to actually build links. So that would be your SEO firewall, as Bradley says, would be your SEO firewall. And yeah, it's still super effective. And we use attribution links, press releases. Those websites get only, if we think about duplicate content, those websites get 100% duplicate content.
That's right.
And nonetheless, they are, big publications, big outlets, Fox News, CNN, all this and that. They're ranking on Google, and they're 100% based because you cannot change a comma out of a press release, right? So if you think about it, you think it logically, they're all linking back to the source, and that's why Google doesn't penalize them, because you're not actually stealing content. The main problem with duplicate content is stealing, and that's not what we're doing here,
Right. And so I'm just going to demonstrate this here because, again, that's, press releases are so incredibly effective for ranking local stuff now. It's ridiculous. That's what our whole course, Local PR Pro, is about, which works hand in hand with Local GMB Pro, by the way, guys. I mean, it's like a match made in heaven, those two. Anyways.
Yeah, in fact, we might end up going out there and making a bundle. I don't know. That could actually be a good idea.
Sounds like it might be a good idea for a holiday promo or something.
Oh, yeah. Who knows?
So if you see and like Hernan just said, this was a PR that's being done that was published for the case study that I'm working on for Local GMB Pro. And I published this May 22nd. And if I click this, you'll see that it's showing about 99 results. So that's 99 versions of the exact, or 99 copies of the exact same article. Okay. Is that duplicate content? No, we already know, we've proven for a fact, 100% certain that we can rank stuff with just using press releases and no other link sources. I've done it many, many, many times. Again, the Local PR Pro course was entirely built around this principle. And, it's nothing but duplicate content. You produce one press release, it gets picked up and republished by hundreds of media sites, as many as 400, 500 media sites, depending on your distribution service, and that's 400 or 500 instances of the exact same article. And it doesn't, and it ranks shit. It's all about your linking and like what we call the PR stack and stuff like that. And so again, it's not a duplicate content issue. Right? There's a footprint issue when you start syndicating the same content to non-branded properties. That can, because then that's clearly what you're doing, that clearly to manipulate search engine rankings. So, and for YouTube, it doesn't affect YouTube at all. By the way, you're asking about the ifttt and spam entry point. So guys, for those of you that don't understand what Lenoy's asking about, when the spam entry point, that means like, where can you inject link spam into the system? If you're talking about like the diagrams that I drawn for YouTube Silo Academy, you can spam those pretty much anywhere you want, those networks, any one of the properties in the networks, anywhere you want. You can inject spam anywhere, really, because it doesn't make a difference. And there's no footprint issues with YouTube syndication. The footprint issues come in with blog syndication, because Google will slap your money site if it thinks that you're republishing content to manipulate search. But Google will not slap your YouTube channel if you're republishing Google code, if you're acting as a publisher for Google, which is what you're doing when you syndicate YouTube videos, right? So there's a big difference, guys. So just keep that in mind, Lenoy. Absolutely, they still work. It's still standard operating procedure. I think it's basically it's still the foundation of everything that we do as syndication networks, okay? It's a great question, by the way. So it's good to review this stuff, guys, for new people and even for people that seem to forget why we use them. You know what I mean? So next, Israel says, I had a new domain get hit with Japanese spam and hacked. There are about 12,000 backlinks to the site that happened because of this, plus a bunch of 404 errors because I got rid of all the pages that were created. Should I bail on this domain, or is there a way to salvage it? Well, that's a good question. It is a branded domain, but I have another one I could use. If I send a redirect from the spam domain to the new domain, will this hurt the new domain? Yeah, it could. It would if it was just a straight 301 redirect. There are some things that you could do to link, what we called link laundering, where you could do like double 301 redirects and such. As far as like the 404 errors, that's an easy fix, right? Because you can use like just a plugin or something like that, like 404 redirect or something like that, that redirects all 404s to a specific page that you set, which could be the home page or whatever. You could do something like that. So you can eliminate the 404 errors rather quickly. That's not a problem. The inbound 12,000 backlinks is the problem. So what you can do, here's the thing. If you got hit with Japanese spam, why were you a target? Like, first of all, like because the thing is even if you were able to clean up those 12,000 backlinks, which the only way I would do it, and I know Marco will probably disagree with me on this, but would be through disavowing those backlinks. I've done it successfully on multiple occasions, recovered sites with penguin penalties using the disavow tool, Google's disavow tool. I've done it. So I know it works. However, if you were a target for Japanese spam before, who's to say you're not going to get spammed? That domain's not just going to continually get spammed. So that would be an ongoing battle, in which case it might make sense to just replace the domain. And I'm not sure that I would want to redirect the old domain to the new one at all, because then that's a very simple way to still run spam back to the new domain. So find out if it's an ongoing issue, then that would change what I would say as my recommendation. But if you have another branded or another domain that you could use, sometimes it's better just to start fresh, because a cleanup job can be a real bitch, and you never know for sure until the penalty gets lifted. If you got penalized because of it, you don't really know for sure if you're making progress, really, right? So you could work on it for months, and that's why I got out of, by the way, the penalty recovery business. I did that for a while, but sometimes you'd work on stuff for months and not recover it, and it's just a lot of wasted effort and time. So I got out of doing that. Anybody want to comment on that?
Yeah, I've never disavowed links, and I'm not about to. I'd rather have a fingernail pulled with pliers than disavow links. What I would do is, first of all, ask yourself, is this worth the time that it's going to take to recover it, right? Is it worth the time to test? If it's not making you money and you just want to recover it because of the domain, why bother? Even if it's branded, I mean, why bother? It would have to be worth my time and effort, right? The money would have to be there. But I would say that you could take that, push it through a drive stack, a G site, to the new domain, and your link should come out fine, and then you'll actually benefit from those 12K backlinks that they send at you to try to spam you. But it would have to actually be worth it, because you're either going to have to spend time building a drive stack, or if you want it done properly, you're gonna have to get one from us. There's a lot of haters out there. Often imitated, never duplicated is what Wayne said in one of his memes. But I mean, it's true. You can get it for a lot cheaper than what we do our drive stacks for, but you get what you pay for.
Yeah, and what Marco said, that that's one thing that you can do. Something else would be that I've done that works fairly well too. When you've got the spam domain with 12,000 inbound links that are shitty links, right? Is redirect set up a HTML page that you host on Amazon in an S3 bucket that has a link to your money site with just one singular link on that page to your money site. I mean, it's got content and all that. And then what you do is redirect the spam domain to that HTML page, right? That's something you can do. And that's another way to kind of clean it, because the Amazon domain can take the abuse just like the drive stack can, right?
Yeah.
So I'm saying the drive stack could be more effective, but a quick hit, if you need it, until like a drive stack order was complete or something, could be just an HTML page. And remember, those HTML pages are great too, because they're great to use as spam targets for other stuff too. So go ahead, Hernan, you want to say something?
No, I was about to say that the same applies to if you want to redirect to a tweet or to a
Correct.
WordPress website or to not a Facebook page, because it kind of, Facebook and Google, they kind of hate each other, but a tweet can work. If you're tweeting out your new domain and you redirect all of the spam over there, it will be a double shortener because you get t.co and then your website. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do to kind of launder that domain. But yeah, I would strongly suggest that, usually it's less time consuming to start over. And then maybe at some point, if you still want to have that as a side project, maybe at some point it will come back. And there you go. You have two powerful domains that you can use,
Awesome. And Jordan has offered for you, Israel, to hit him up about potentially content project. Yeah, Adam's correct. A great asset is a hiring funnel and knowing how to set them up properly to get the best workers. Instead of a content writer, I recommend curating articles anyways. That's pretty much how we do all of our content generation for clients and such, is through curation. We have a course that teaches exactly how to do that, which is called Content Kingpin. Teaches how to curate, how to outsource that, what to pay when you're outsourcing, how long it should take outsourcers to produce money content, how long it should take them to produce link building content, all of that, best practices for curating. All of that is taught in Content Kingpin. Outsource Kingpin teaches you how to set up hiring funnels to hire, screen, train, and manage virtual assistants. It's basically literally how we built our business with virtual assistants. And I think between all of us now, we've got somewhere in the neighborhood of 35, maybe approaching 40 virtual assistants. It's ridiculous. So that's what I'm saying.
Not counting our individual businesses, because then we will go out and use outsource Kingpin, the method, the outsource Kingpin method to populate whatever we need. Like if you're looking for a PA, you can do it like without counting our own businesses, like individual businesses. Yeah, I would say we're close to 40 VAs. So
yeah. All right, we're almost out of time, guys. We'll try to run through the next couple really quickly, and then we got to wrap it up. Sorry, unfortunately, guys, we're out of time. But love this, James O'Rourke. Thanks, buddy. Anyways, that beats the picture of Marco. No offense, Marco, but anyways, does Local GMB Pro work for PPC call affiliate offers? I imagine it. Well, I don't know. You mean pay per call affiliate offers? I imagine it would if you spam a Maps address, right? So you get a GMB verified listing up, and you just start posting. If it can generate calls, I don't see why you couldn't do that. In fact, I'm pretty sure Rob was actually monetizing some of his testing GMBs that he used for testing purposes that way, if I remember correctly.
That's exactly right. As long as the affiliate offer is local,
yeah,
right, you should have no issues with this.
There you go. Bob Lell, I want to use GMB photos for the client website, but just realized that when you add photos using the GMB app that you can't download the photos. So is it just as effective to take photos, location on, and then upload? Yes, that's the preferred method, actually, Bob. Okay. Pofu, Chinese equals Vixen. Oh, that's why he did that. That's awesome. Okay, so that just worked out then. What about the phone number consistency? That should absolutely, Israel, the 3 data points that are the most important are name, address, and phone number, even more so than the URL. For citation consistency, name, address, and phone number, those are the 3 most important things. Now, URL should also be consistent, but I know for a fact that that is the lesser of the 2. Now, having URL consistent wherever it's mentioned online will help with ranking organically. But for maps, it's mostly name, address, and phone number. So you want to make sure that the name, address, and phone number are consistent, even all the way down to the punctuation. Guys, that's really critical. Okay. All right. Let's see, guys. We have to wrap it up. Oh, shit. Let me answer 2 more. Jim says, when doing citations on non-directory sites, WordPress blog or Weebly, if the headers aren't available to use rich text snippets or simply use plain text for the NAP. The problem is rich text snippets, Jim, will typically get stripped out by any of those platforms. Like if you publish them, even if you go into the HTML editor and you add it and then you save it, as soon as you say it or publish it, whichever, as soon as you publish it and you go back and look at it, all that data has been stripped out and it ends up just being straight HTML text. So there's really no reason to do it. My point is, now, sometimes, like for example, with WordPress, I don't know about WordPress.com, but I know with self-hosted WordPress sites, you can use a plugin that's called raw HTML, and then you could actually inject JSON LD right into the middle of a page, and it will stay. I don't know about WordPress.com, though. I don't think I've tested that there. I don't know if Marco, you would probably know. JSON LD and a WordPress.com post, would that remain, or would WordPress.com strip it out?
I haven't tested it, so I wouldn't know.
I'm pretty sure it strips it out. But you can test it, Jim. You can test adding JSON LD into the post body of WordPress Blogger and Weebly and see if it sticks. I don't think it does. I'm pretty sure we've tested that in the past. I just can't remember specifically. So it really doesn't matter. Just put it in as any straight text. It's fine. Okay, it's still a mention, guys. It's still a citation. A citation is just a mention. It doesn't even have to be hyperlinked, guys. It's just a mention, and that counts. These are always the best free webinars for local. You could have lost that modifier, Jim, to just the best webinars for local SEO. You didn't have to. I'm giving you a hard time, buddy. Thank you. What about Master Pet Care? Don, I'm not sure I understand what you're asking here. There's not 28,200,000 results for local pet stores. If you, well, there might be for pet stores local. That means there's 28 million results on the page, or excuse me, that have pet stores local. The words pet, stores, and local somewhere on the indexed page. Does that make sense? So I don't know what you're asking here, Don. All right, guys, I think we have to wrap it. Oh, I'm sorry. So here he's clarifying it here. I'm just posting this for the guy asking about maps. This is one of my websites that I'm rebuilding in Shopify. It's been down for about 8 months total. This just shows the power it can have. It's ranking #1 locally still while it's been down. So let's see. So you mean the site's been down, but you still have, I guess you're saying this website's down, but the maps listing is still up? Yeah, they're 2 different algorithms, right? So you can rank locally without even having a website, guys. You can rank absolutely in maps without even having a website. Okay. Okay. Andrew Scherer with Margaret Center said that he found using duplicate info on all of your citations makes them not all recognized by Google, as well as changing up the content on each citation. This description needs to be worded differently. Thoughts? Yeah, I mean, Andrew does a lot of this stuff, so he may be correct. I haven't. Years ago, I tested that and didn't make a difference, so it was wasted effort to do different descriptions for the. And honestly, it's a speed thing for me. Like typically, you know, and the citation providers out there, if they are, most of them will offer that as an add-on to have like different descriptions written and stuff. If you want to use it, use it. Personally, I've been doing just basically the same description. I've never really had an issue because years ago I tested that and it made no difference at the time. It may now. It very likely does make a difference now, but I typically don't mess with that. But you certainly can, right? Test it, guys. if you test it on your own, or if Andrew says it, I trust that what he says is right because he knows what he's talking about. So if he says it, having different video or descriptions for business, the citation business descriptions makes makes them more impactful, I'd trust that and try it and see. All right, guys, I got to wrap it up. Sorry, didn't get to everybody's question.
Can you get to John's question before we go? Because he's asking about Local GMB Pro and Local PR Pro. Since they go so well together, is a special price for current Google My Business members.
Well, it was
offered.
Yeah.
And
it was part of the funnel during the initial sale, guys. That was like, I guess, the upsell or whatever, the OTO, which was a significant discount off what the product prices would be separately. That's, that's what a one-time offer is. But I don't know. Can we work something out for them, guys, or are we just going to wait?
Well, yeah, probably. I mean, just contact support, and we will probably, like, since you're already invested in Local GMB Pro.
Yeah.
There's not going to be like that was a real OTO, like a one-time offer, but we can potentially work something out for you. And if you don't have Local PR Pro or Local GMB Pro, don't get it right now because we're going to launch something special for you guys real soon.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure we can do something for you, John. But again, we can't honor the same price that we had in the launch funnel because that would make it not a true OTO, and we stand by our word. So
yes, sir.
We can probably work something out for you, John. Just contact us, support@semanticmastery.com. We'll work something out for you. All right, everybody. Thanks, guys. We appreciate it. We'll see everybody. Actually, Mastermind tomorrow. We've got special guests coming on tomorrow. It's going to be quite interesting. So, Mastermind members, make sure you're there. Okay. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out.
Bye, everyone.